Today's first video for you with new stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea. First new story is from Wolkait. Govt University researchers have spoken to Amhara communication department, and they're claiming that they have uncovered some mass graves in Wolkait, Sagade, and Salamati, who were buried there. We have been hearing about mass graves in this region from Tigray-backed news sources as well, which have been saying that Tigrayans are being killed and buried in mass graves. Secondly, viewers, we have a new story from Dassi, where a meeting was held at a hotel in Dassi, and Wollo Fano has been established. Now, officially, you can say it has been announced. Its commanders have been finalized in the meeting held at a hotel in Dassi. Thirdly, viewers, we have a new story about Eritrean refugees in Egypt. We have some numbers for you that Egypt is sending these refugees back, and several cases have been reported. In March last month, two cases were reported about Egypt deporting these refugees back to Eritrea. So the people who are fleeing Eritrea, they're being sent back to Eritrea. And lastly, Oromo Liberation Army backed news sources have shared some pictures and videos of government soldiers. OLA said these government soldiers have joined Oromo Liberation Army. Have they joined or have they been taken prisoner? We have some picture videos for you. Firstly, Wolkait zone. Here, Amhara Communication Affairs Bureau, Amhara state media is claiming that several mass graves and concentration camps have been uncovered by a research team in different parts of Wolkait, Sagade, and Salamati. It is being claimed that these concentration camps were set up by TPLF led EPRDF government when this zone was allegedly annexed by Tigray, and remains skeletons of humans are being shared by researchers. Govt University researchers have done this research, and they say that Amharas were killed in large number. Genocide of Amharas was committed here, and they were buried in mass graves. Auschwitz-like concentration camps, it is being claimed, were being run here by Tigray fighters. All these are accusations. I'm not backing them. So it is being said that TPLF-led EPRDF government is involved in genocide of Amharas in this zone. Wolkait, Sagade, and Salamati, and graves, mass graves show remains of Amharas killed and buried allegedly by Tigray government. On the other hand, we have been hearing from Tigray-backed news sources that for the past, for more than 1 year now, this zone is under the control of Amhara forces. And Tigray-backed news sources, they have been claiming that Tigrayans residing in this zone are being killed. They are being ethnically cleansed. Ethnic cleansing is also underway. Tigrayans are being pushed from these areas. And those remaining, those still staying there, they're being arrested and they're being killed in large numbers. And then the dead bodies are being buried in mass graves. They're being thrown into Takeze River. This is what we have been hearing from Tigray-backed news sources. I think Nima al-Baghir also did a story when she and her team recovered some dead bodies from Takeze River, which crosses into Sudan from Ethiopia. It passes through this area, Western Tigray, Humra, Wolkait, Sagade. So both sides are making conflicting claims about these graves, mass graves. What is required is obviously some independent investigation, which Ethiopian government will not agree to. Tigray has been agreeing to independent investigations. But we have seen that Ethiopian government is not ready for any international investigation. If there is no international investigations, then these mutual blame game will continue. It will lead to further hatred. Amharas will keep on saying that genocide of Amharas was committed by Tigray government. And Tigrayans will keep on saying that Tigrayans are being killed in large number and they're being buried in mass graves. So what is required is maturity, some Ethiopian state-backed mechanism with trust of all parties for investigation, or some international mechanism to inquire into these mass graves, these alleged concentration camps uncovered in Wolkait, Sagade and Salamati. How many mass graves, concentration camps have been uncovered? Number has not been shared, but Amhara government-backed news sources say that several have been found so far. Secondly, viewers, Wollo Fano has been established. So, South Wollo, North Wollo Fanos, they held a meeting at a hotel in Dassi. I think Lucy Hotel is the name of the place, where representatives from different parts of Wollo attended the meeting. Fano representatives from Dassi, Lalibela, Gashina, Hamusat, Mekan Salam, Kobo, Marsa, Girana, and several other cities and towns in North and South Wollo. From these places, Fano representatives, they attended this meeting held at the hotel in Dassi. And now Dassi Fano has been established. Solomon Simao has been nominated as the head of Wollo Fano. Fano is in the process of reorganization. We have seen Gondar Fano established as well. I think Massafant has been elected or appointed as the head there in Gondar. In Wollo, Solomon Simao is leading. What about Gojam? We have not heard anything from Gojam so far. Who is leading the Fano in Gojam? So in Wollo and Gondar now we have two commanders, and Fano is turning into an organization with some sort of discipline, some sort of organization. Let's see. We'll update you about Gojam as well. Thirdly, viewers, we have a new story about Eritrean refugees in Egypt. We know that people from Eritrea, they flee for different reasons, and they try to cross into neighboring countries, and somehow they manage to reach Egypt. But Egypt is known for deporting these citizens back to Eritrea, these Eritreans. In March, 2 cases have been reported in which Egyptian government deported Eritrean refugees back to Eritrea. On the 15th of March, 30 Eritrean refugees were deported by Egyptian authorities. Among them were some women and children too. Then on the 17th of March, 7 more were deported. So in just March, 37 Eritrean refugees were deported by Egypt. In October, November last year, Egypt deported some groups of these refugees. Once these Eritrean refugees are deported from Egypt to Eritrea, what happens in Eritrea? Are they imprisoned? Are they charged with some offenses? Are they released? We don't know. That is the main concern, that these refugees are fleeing Eritrea for fear of something, for fear of persecution, for fear of some other things. But you are deporting them to Eritrea once again. And what is happening there back in Eritrea, no one knows. That is why Egyptian government is being urged that these Eritrean refugees, they have a right to seek asylum. Egyptian government must consider their asylum cases. Still, reportedly, hundreds of Eritrean refugees are in prisons in Egypt. So, according to international conventions on refugees, Egypt is bound to consider the cases of these refugees for asylum. If they'll be deported, it means that their lives could be in danger because they're fleeing Eritrea for some reason. Yes, reason could be economic as well, that they could be fleeing Eritrea for earning something abroad, but reason could be persecution as well. So that is why Egyptian government is being urged that it should not deport Eritrean refugees and it should consider their asylum cases. Lastly, we have a video clip for you shared by some OLA backed news sources in which some government soldiers can be seen, ENDF soldiers, soldiers of Ethiopian National Defense Force. They look like new recruits if they are ENDF members. And they have reportedly joined Oromo Liberation Army. Where did it happen? Reportedly in West Valega zone, Western Oromia. They decided to join Oromo Liberation Army. Watch this video showing government soldiers who have joined Oromo Liberation Army. Thanks for watching.
Sakararraa yaaduma tokko tokko waliin haasofnee waan wal gaafachuu qabnu yookaan walitti himuu qabnu kana booddee waliin irratti hirmaannaa jechuudha. Ayyee maqaan keenyati. Abdii Abdii Xuurii ayyee